Thank you for coming tonight. It's really good to see quite a lot of people from the village. Just a couple of ground rules. Thank you very much for all the comments that come through to Joe and to various councillors. The purpose of the meeting tonight is for us, as a parish council, to decide the way forward. We are not making any decisions tonight. So that's the first thing, because there's been some social media chatter. And we are just going to decide how we take this process forward to gather the parishioners' decision across the board. We've decided that we are going to take on board a majority of view vote with every in the village that can vote on this particular issue. So that's what we're discussing tonight. So we're just going to thrash through our agenda. We'll shut the meeting, we'll close it. So if anyone wants to make a comment, please feel free to do so. There's a lot of people in here, so if your comments are the same as somebody else that's already made a comment, then perhaps just don't repeat it, because I'll have to cut you short, because we've all got dinner to go to or beds to go to. So, but we want to hear your views, obviously, because that's the whole point of us being parish council, me being chairman. I'm Mark Jones, by the way, if you don't know, but I'm sure you know who I am. Right, we'll crack on. We've got one apology.
Yes, apologies. Yeah, well, no, we haven't got any.
Oh, she's not. No, she hasn't.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
I don't think she has sent an apology. Send an apology to her?
No. Pardon?
Don't do that, that leg's warm.
Oh God, excuse me.
I'll sit still.
Swap seats.
No, I'll sit still.
Yeah,
I'll sit
don't
still.
move.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Health and safety, Bob. Right, okay, we'll close the meeting now. So, if anybody's got any declaration of interest amongst parish council, then please sing out now. Great. We'll close the meeting now at 17:33 to hear any members of the public may wish to speak. We'll start. I'll put your hands up. I'll try and keep a record. Sarah first.
Yeah, I assume you're going to be discussing the possibility of a parish poll, if this is going to be a definite how everybody.
Yes.
That's a very expensive undertaking, especially as there are no council elections to piggyback on until 2027. Has the plans actually been presented to DDC for pre-app advice before you spend that money? Because if DDC are going to say no, we're not even going to let you have it, it seems like a waste.
Yep, there is a poll is one of the proposals of carrying out a vote, because that is the only legal and without due prejudice or bias that people could make a decision. That cost comes in a couple of £1,000, which is could be funded by the parish council, and if we decide to go down that route, then that's something we will have to pay for. I don't think there's any other way. I don't like the idea of putting hands up or votes like that, because we get a bias there. So that's something we'll discuss tonight on how we do that. That seems to be the sensible and most safest way of doing it. Only those people, at the last count of 1,915 electorate people on the register, so that's the sort of total number of people in the village that are eligible to vote. So that's one of the considerations we're doing. What's your point?
Pre-app advice. It seems pointless if the DDC are going to turn it down anyway.
There's always the problem that we haven't put any pre-app advice. It's not for us to do. We're not the developers. It will be for the developers or the village hall committee as they see fit to do that. That's up to them to do. Whatever the decision that we make ultimately, DDC has that decision after that, and then it may well get approved. It may well get declined.
I'm just wondering about spending £2,500 before you've got some idea what those group are going to say.
Yeah. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah. Simon?
Yeah, I'll be brief as I can, because I've got basically down to bullet points. Okay, I'm Simon Reid. I've lived in the village for 47 years. I'm a builder in the village, so a few of you know me. I've been a builder for 38 years, and I've worked on the village hall on many occasions. My bullet points are, the existing gun park is vital to remain as a recreation, as it is less would be too small for the village. So we don't need to reduce the recreation ground. Access along Gore Road and Cooks Lee is absolutely diabolical, with two pinch points at either end, where vehicles spend more time reversing than they do going forward, ending with the road gridlocked and cars at stalemate. I know it, I live on that road, and it's a nightmare. And that's as it is now, not when the village hall was built. Existing hall has stood for 150 years and will stand for another 150 years unless you put dynamite under it. Your modern hall, which will be built as cheaply as possible by the builders, will last nowhere near as long. The current hall is receiving very good income, which I'm very pleased. I believe it's the highest in its history. This could be increased with a new floor put in between the balcony walkway, making another large room for hire, therefore increasing the revenue and making the hall more profitable. This in turn, would lower the costs, the heating costs, because obviously the main hall, which is used a lot, heat wouldn't go up to the top. Finally, the hall has history with the village and has been used as such since 1933, I believe. To convert it into flats or houses and lose the garages will not benefit the village at all. For those lucky enough to visit the snooker room above the main hall, you can see the wonderful beam construction of the building, making Eastry Snooker Club one of the most unique in Kent, if not the country. Long may Eastry Village stay put where it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll answer that.
Thanks, Simon.
Alan Wheatley, Chairman of Village Hall. First point, Simon, if you would like to run through them, I'll answer.
I can do. Right, the recreation ground. It's the only bit of green space we've got.
Yep.
And to lose a good percentage of that for a car park and a new village hall would ruin the recreation area that we've got at the moment. It's the only bit we've got,
right.
green land.
The proposed new hall with the car parking, 24 cars minimum, is taking up just under 10% of that space.
That's quite a big space. And I'm not
Yeah,
sure
it's quite a big
10%.
hall, but the hall needs to
Is that
develop.
for 25 cars?
24 minimum.
It needs to be a lot bigger than that, doesn't it?
Well, there's scope for overflow car parking
We're taking more of the golf
with the
balls.
youth club. No, with the youth club car park.
You only get about 5 or 6 cars in the youth club car park.
Yeah, and then if there is a main event on in the hall, then we can park on the grass for this short period. There's not many events in the hall that will need more than 25 cars, because most people walk to the hall, particularly if there's alcohol involved.
If you're having huge concerts like you do have,
Yeah.
surely you're going to have a lot more than 25 cars, and they'll all be parking around Wilmot Place.
As I say, most of the concerts that we've had at the hall thus far have been local people, and they walk because they want to drink.
Can I just make a point about the 10%? You're saying it's 10% of the whole area?
Just under, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm assuming you're taking into that the paths and the verges, etc., and right up to where the woodland is at the end. The woodland at the end isn't owned by us, it's owned by an individual.
I don't think we've taken that into account. have we?
But what I'm saying is that 10% you're taking is the most valuable part of the gun park. That's the part that's used the most by children and by dog. It's the area where, it's the most used bit. People don't use the bit at the top very often. It's almost empty most of the time. So when you're taking that space, you are taking a lot of the family space and where people play and where the kids play. That's just my point. It's the most valuable part of the gun park. And the skate park as
Skate
well.
park next to it.
The skate park, we've built in a fund to help move because I'm told that the skate park needs replacing. It's not fit for
Sorry, can I just
purpose.
say, it does need replacing, and it's something that we would like to do, and we've added it onto a list of things that we'd like with Dover District. However, if I say that myself and Joe Jones helped put in the new play area, and 5 pieces of equipment and some wet pour cost £72,000, then a new skate park is going to cost considerably, if not double that, and we don't have the money to put in a new skate park at this time. So if there is a new skate park, and I know Joe has said that we can possibly put some outside the youth club, but it would also take some more bit off the gun park, that I think was going to cost at least, I would say, 150,000, based on what it cost us to do those few bits of equipment. So that is something that it's nice to have, but we can't put on this form that it's a plan to do it because we haven't agreed to do that.
Okay, well, we can take that off and
Yeah.
say that we're still wanting the parish council to finalise
Yeah.
the wording on the leaflet.
Yeah.
What's the next point,
That's part of
Simon?
it.
Next point, access, basically. Access along Gore Road. It's a curved road,
Yeah.
literally. So
Yeah.
cars come out of Cooksley, they turn to go towards Beckett's as such. They come along, car comes up from Beckett's and goes the other way. They can't see the car coming. So you have 2 or 3 cars coming in the same direction, they meet halfway. The only place they can go is to turn into people's driveways. I know, I've been there 47 years and it's bad at the moment because cars come forward, you have to reverse. No, I'm not, you reverse. And they're all reversing back to try and get into parking spaces so they can then continue. This is going to be absolutely a nightmare when the village hall is built.
What I would say, if I can
So go on,
interject
yeah,
there,
go on.
is that most, over 90% of the cars that use the car park at the front of the hall, I know because I sat and watched the CCTV for a whole week, over 90% of the cars that park at the front of the hall don't use the hall. They come out of the car, they go to the post office, the shop, the baker's, the nail bar, wherever. Yeah. I can't give you a number as to how many over the course of that week that I reviewed actually used the hall because that wasn't my remit. But you see the car park there being busy, and it is busy because it's a free car park available for the village.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of people are using it to go shopping, not to use the hall.
Yeah, but surely that's the advantage to the village, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, because
if
right
there's
from
no
the
parking,
outset with the conversation with the developer, we didn't have the numbers then, but the gut feeling was that the car park had to be remain the property of the village for free use of the villagers to go shopping. Otherwise, it was the kiss of death to the shops.
Yes.
Yeah, the developer understands that, and will not be touching the front car park. It will remain 13 years.
Once all the houses and the flats are built, then the people who live in the houses and the flats are going to park in front of the village hall.
No, they'll have the car park at the back.
No, they won't, because there'll be 2 allocated car parking spaces, and if you look round here, I bet most of us have got children, grandchildren of driving age. So all those cars are going to end up 2 people plus a grandchild on the settee, who's got a car as well. So he won't be able to get in the 2 car parking spaces, so he's going to park inside that car outside. Then some cars are going to break down, that'll be left in the car park outside. That car park is going to be full all the time. You cannot say there's going to be a housing developed there, but they're not going to use the car park. They will be, they just fill it up.
Well,
Which then means that nobody will be able to stop. Everybody nowadays has got no time to do anything. So they come charging through the village, nip at the present moment into the village car park, shoot over to the butchers, the bakers, or everywhere else, come back, get in their car and go off and do their daily whatever.
Yeah.
They can't park there. They're going to either have to park right the way down the road and then walk away back. They don't like walking.
Or on the double yellows.
Or we're going to have to park on the double yellows, which I appreciate they do now, but it doesn't make it right.
No.
So therefore, nobody's going to be able to park in the village. Nobody will be using the shops. And give it 10 years down the line, we won't have any shops.
Right.
Won't even be 10 years.
Well,
No, it
that's what I'm
won't
saying.
be- it won't
Just
be,
an
no.
estimate. Less than 10 years, all the shops will be shut, and we'll all be moaning, what a wonderful village hall we've got, maybe.
If you get
But
to
we
it,
can't go to any shops.
No. Yes, exactly.
if you can get to it.
If you can get to it.
That's not solving Gore Road.
Also, I'll go back to your point. I was in the building trade for 57 years.
Yeah.
What we get on the village green, in the gun park, will not be half the quality
Exactly.
of the existing village hall.
Exactly.
No.
I've
Right.
worked in buildings.
We'll pick up on that point then. Right, as chairman of the village hall, right, at last count, there's £141,000 worth of improvements and upgrades needed to bring it up to 20th century standards. Yeah, there's minimal insulation in that building. It's a brick barn with double glazing, and the double glazing's only there because the old metal windows fell out. Yeah, the cost of running that hall is prohibitive in the winter. It makes money in the summer, it doesn't in the winter, and with the utilities going up all the time, with that profit we're now making is going to be eroded and eroded and eroded. And I'm not going to be chairman for very much longer. And if you don't get a business person in there, you will lose that hall. End of.
Can we get back to, so, because we've got to actually take all your comments and get on with our big part of me. So
Yeah.
thank you for your comments, very, very kind. Penny, I saw your hand up, but you might have jumped ahead of you, so I'll take Penny then. Anybody else? And then
Something behind the mark.
oh,
Yeah.
uh,
I'll have a go later.
all right, Penny, then the lady over here, then yourself.
I think actually Alan's kind of answered my question. My question was, is the village hall washing its face? And can it continue to wash
It's washing its face at the moment.
financially?
We turned up last year. We turned over just short of £33,000, and because we've got two businessmen now running it, myself and the new treasurer, we made a profit of £9,000. When we took over, we had £50,000 in the bank, not on deposit, in current accounts. Ludicrous.
Well, I think then, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer, unless we residents can actually come up with a plan to help the village hall wash its face and more into perpetuity. I can't say the word.
Perpetuity.
Yeah, thank you. Then I don't think we're going to have a village hall at all. I think we have to bite the bullet on. I'm not saying yes to the development, but I'm saying don't just discount a new village hall, because if we just discount it, we're going to run into problems further down the road.
Yeah, I mean, that £141,000 that I just quoted was done last year, and since then we've got a roof that's leaking. God alone knows how much that's going
Who
to cost.
quoted that, Alan? Was it Woods?
Woods.
Was it the people that want to buy the property?
It was Woods that have now made the offer.
Okay.
No, but
Yeah, but we can
Well,
argue
with-
the costs over building costs.
with
I'm sorry,
respect, with
again,
respect,
another
Simon, that's a cheap shot because I got three prices for every deal.
Can we-
I offered you the chance to quote, and you didn't quote.
But
Can we
let's-
get back
was.
on track to taking
But let's
comments,
just face
please?
it, that actually, you know, and again, I'm sitting on the fence at the moment, thinking of, but I do think we have to be practical about this, and building costs are not going to come down, they're going to go up and up. Look at the state of the world at the moment. You know, so unless we get a whole bunch of wonderful volunteers who are going to do it for nothing, I think we really have to think about this carefully.
All this information will come out in the presentations that Alan and the team are going to present in 3 occasions, hopefully, maybe including the annual meeting, which would be an opportunity for everybody to come and have a look at the plans and ask questions then. So if I can just go back on to comments before we can then sort of progress the meeting, I think.
Okay, so that might cover what I was going to say, because I don't know if I'm the only one here that doesn't know how many flats or houses are proposed and what the village hall is going to comprise of, should it go to the gun park. So I know that there is a plan for housing, and I know the village hall is supposed to consider it, but I don't know how many and what we're talking about.
Last
And I don't know if
conversation
I'm the only one. So.
Last conversation I had with the developer, the main hall was being turned into 3 residences, or would be turned into 3 residences, and there would be a pair of semi-detached bungalows where the garages are now.
So 5.
5.
3 houses and 2 bungalows.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is obviously to be finalised.
And then the village hall that's proposed to be built by the developers.
Yeah.
Is that, how many rooms is that going to be?
Oh
Is
goodness.
there some sort of there's plans, obviously you've.
Yeah, we
They
have plans.
present the plans with their
Later on.
Yeah,
All
it's,
right,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
fine.
But it's not just the village hall, this building. It incorporates a new pavilion or changing facilities for the football club. It's earmarked a space to take the place of this shed, if the parish council want it. A bigger recreation hall, because we've been asked, have we got facilities for the likes of badminton and pickleball? No, we don't. And some of the music concerts that we've held have drawn a lot of people, and we have actually sold out. So it enables us to have bigger concerts and make more money.
So without everybody knowing all of that, now I didn't know all of that might have been included in, it might make a difference to how people
Yeah,
react.
and this
That
is
will come out in
this
the
is
Exactly.
why.
It
see the
might-
plans,
it
see the
might help
proposal.
people
Yeah.
react to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way right now, because that's
Yeah.
the point of people.
Well, that's the point of the
commenting
3
now.
meetings, so we capture
Absolutely.
hopefully the majority,
Yeah.
the significant majority of the village.
The communication has not been brilliant. I will
No.
accept
No.
that, but it's very difficult to communicate what hasn't been agreed. And with respect to the parish council, without them saying yes to the site, there's no point in going to Dover DC for pre-planning or whatever.
I don't know, I think, sorry, I haven't got my hand up, but
Yeah, sorry Penny, if we could come back to the gentleman over here.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I place great value on the recreation space on the gun park. And it's not just me, I'm sure it's a lot of villagers, but more importantly, it's the government and Sport England who will formally object to your proposal, the way it stands at the moment. So I just wanted to put that out, that's all.
Thank you.
Right, I've got a gentleman here who can answer some of that.
So one of the things that you might consider,
So so you know, Kevin is the vice chairman of Eastry Ravens Football Club.
So the reason I'm here is because we are losing and probably will lose the football club if we cannot get A, 2 pitches, and B, a new clubhouse. It's been condemned. We shouldn't be using it now. We are losing 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16-year-olds every week to Deal, to Woodensborough, and we can't continue without a new clubhouse. To comment on what will be allowed by Sport England also want grassroots football to succeed. They can't succeed without a new clubhouse. The clubhouse at the moment was built many, many years ago and is clearly not only unfit for human habitation, but is grossly undersized for grassroots football. We all talk about the recreation ground being for sports and for recreation. Well, if you do not provide facilities for the youths of this village, you are going to have a problem. The youth centre does its job, but the football club is a major, major contributor to keeping those kids having fitness, having a life outside of their 4 walls, not doing antisocial behaviour, not being a nuisance to the village. The village clubhouse, or the Eastry Football Club house at the moment, has been condemned. The electrics are shot, the water supply is shot. When we apply for a new clubhouse, it will be at least twice as big as it is at the moment, possibly bigger, to be able to answer Sport England and the FA requirements. So when we talk about losing grass, you are going to lose grass because it's the only way that football and sports in the community can actually stay current. So we don't want to take grass. We love the grass. Most of us here probably have dogs. We don't want to lose grass, but it's got to also provide the facility to enable the sports to be played. If Eastry was to lose one of the oldest football clubs in the country because we can't have a clubhouse that's actually able to provide fit for purpose changing, then that would be an absolute travesty for this village.
Can I just, on that note, it has been raised over the last couple of years with our budgetary restraints on being a parish council, that one of our projects is to replace and renew the pavilion anyway. So this hasn't been not considered in the past. We have considered what we do with the village. It's our next budget. We've did some playground work. We've done some other bits and pieces. But one of the big projects is to replace the pavilion for the football club. Whether that's replacing it in its current form or similar to that, or adopting it into the new community building, that's the point of the meeting between us all.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It just seems to me that it's not going to be a park anymore. It's just going to be for football. And the kids need a park. And I'm looking here and I'm seeing, if you're going to build this huge big place, which I don't want, there's going to be nothing left for the kids. Absolutely nothing left for them to play, because they can't, if you're on a Sunday and you've got 2 matches, the people in Wilmot Place are going to go nuts. Not enough room to park the cars to start with. Secondly, the kids want to run across the grass, they can't because there's a match on. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go?
For an hour and a half? Is that a problem?
Yes, it is.
For an hour and a half?
Yes, it is.
The entire weekend?
Yes, it is. 10 minutes, if the kids want to play there, they want to play.
And
That is what the
would
gun
you,
park.
would you have the kids?
That's the
kids
word.
play? What do they
gun
want to play?
park.
Joe.
It's a
What do they
park.
actually
Can
want
we,
to
can we
play?
just get back
You
onto the
might
notes?
shout.
Just
You might
a lot of
shout,
other people to hear.
Forgive me being ignorant, Mr. Chairman, but at the south end of the gun park there's Jubilee Gardens, which appears to me to be a fairly wide open green space.
Centenary Garden.
Centenary Gardens, I do apologise.
So we did actually go out and look at the pavilion with the football club, and we made a provisional agreement that yes, we're happy to have a new pavilion on the gun park. That was something that we've discussed with Dover District, with yourselves, that we thought it was a really good idea because it is totally decrepit, and we're quite happy to have that done, and also to have it moved further up the gun park so that you can, if you need to, sort out your football pitches and to get the grounds improved. That was all something that we discussed. Joe, myself were there, and we discussed it at the council meeting that we're happy for that because we do need a new pavilion. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else got any? I'm trying to keep the eyes up, but if we go to the back to.
Why can we not get lottery funding for a new football pavilion? There must be some, sports for the community. Why, other villages get it? Why can we not get that in Eastry?
This is absolutely the path we'll be going down. So we will be applying to Sport England, lottery funds.
Yeah.
BBC have their own recreational funds. So that is absolutely the direction that the football club was going in, and it may still go that way. So there is to be absolutely honest and blunt and transparent with all of you, there is plan A and there's plan B. I never knew there was a plan B. It was plan A all along. Alan has suggested that this may be a better alternative because the state of the existing building hasn't got longevity, because and for those that have got a nostalgic feel about the building, the history, it wasn't designed as a village hall, it was designed as a factory or as an engineering building. It had to be fluid and develop with the community and become a new use back then, and all we're possibly looking at now is an alternative way of continuing to be fluid and develop as society and communities do. And so actually now that's no longer necessarily fit for purpose, because actually all of the repairs are stacking up in cost, heating is becoming more and more a problem, the building is ageing. I absolutely, as an architect, take on your point. I will not say for 1 second that the way it was built, it would stop a bomb. It's that sort of a building. So I'm not going to for 1 second say that current building methods are going to be better. But as someone who has got an absolute kind of, to say how much I am passionate about Eastry Football Club, I've been playing for it for 20 years, I've now become vice chairman for a reason. I'm doing all of this for, you don't want to know what I should be charging.
Can I just say as
you're absolutely right, there is a plan A,
yeah,
and if
plan
the
B,
village hall doesn't
which
work,
wasn't raised.
we'll
Can I
come
also
back.
say that the most effective way that we speak from experience, because we've done it, is to do a leaflet drop around the village. So the whole village, it's going to cost money, but you get
that is part of the process.
It
Once,
has to be
this is
part
what
of
this
the
purpose
process.
meeting
You
is
get
for,
everybody
is to how
because
we
even
communicate that
testament
message.
Of this evening, this is a very small representation of the village.
This is not to make decisions, this is to hear your views and for us to decide how we communicate the message and information out.
It's got to be that way. It's not fair on the older.
And,
the
There are all
I think
different
that decision's
ways.
already been made.
Yeah,
We've already made that.
and the village, make the point, the village hall will be funding that leaf.
And I move on. I think the lady there, then I'll come to you, and then Evelyn. Oh, sorry, I thought you said leading on the.
There's a limit to how long you can hold your ears up.
If I come down first, the others are my fault now.
It's a one finger.
Go for it.
My problem with this at the moment, we are looking at all these planning applications in isolation. We have the old hospital site, 90 houses.
Yeah.
We have the plot of land down the bottom, 90 houses. You want to put 5 more houses on the village hall site?
We don't want to put them.
No.
We're
No,
not in a decision.
No, like that's the plan that's on the table. You've got the farm site with, I believe, 8 on it. And each of those that want to drive into the village, because the people who live on the farm site, I guarantee, can't walk to the end of their drive. So
if we then have all those going into the village and we get rid of half the car park at least of the village hall, which I know is not being used for what it should be, but it's putting the pulse back in the village.
Yeah. We are very conscious that any development or restructuring of the current village hall parking arrangements may directly affect the village businesses, which we don't want to
How
do.
many villages in Kent are dead from the heart out?
Exactly. This is the whole point of going on your
We're very lucky.
involvement.
We're very lucky, and during lockdown, you could live here and survive because you have the shops and the post office. And the last thing we want is to have a lot of people here. You know, we have a lot of elderly in the village, everywhere really, but mums at home working with kids. They can go to the shop, they can go to the post office, butchers and bakers, and and the pharmacy, of course.
We don't want to destroy it.
We don't want to
Just for
destroy
the
it.
sake, just for the sake ultimately of 5 houses
If I
in the
could
village hall.
move on, a lady in the corner.
My question is, I don't think, well, my answer is that shouldn't be done to the gun park. That gun park was put there for the youth of the children, you know, like the youth club is, and I don't know why the football club need 2 football pitches. My husband and all the friends that we did the football club with many years ago, prior to him, we only had 1 football pitch. Woodnesborough's only got 1 football pitch.
Could I very
Deal
quickly
has
jump
only
in
got
there?
one
We are
football
currently playing at Ash.
Sorry?
We are currently playing at Ash
Why?
because the pitches are being called off because of the weather. That pitch does not drain, which is why we're having to apply to the council. The reason why we want 2 pitches is because we've got we are trying
We
to
shouldn't be
protect.
playing on a pitch when it's not suitable to be played on, and we know that because we've played on that pitch many a time. We had 3 men's teams and we had 4
With all due respect,
children's
with
teams.
parents, there are
Anyway,
now
yes,
complaints
with our
being made
parents,
about
we used
youth
to run them
playing on a
everywhere,
pitch
and I'm
when
sorry,
it's too
I don't
dangerous.
agree with what you're saying.
Okay, this is
that's
the
We're not
yeah,
playing
it's
Ash
discussing
because
about
they
football
called
club.
pitches off.
What we're
Yeah,
asking is how
but
to
it
get a
shouldn't have
decision,
anything
how
on
to inform.
the-
Yeah, thank
yeah.
you for your comments, lady in the corner.
Thank you. I wanted to say, because I've got 2 young children that go to the primary school, and I live on Cooksley, and the park is behind my house, so this is going to affect me. My children come out of school, go straight to the park. If you're going to build a car park there, mums and dads are going to be parking there to pick up their kids from school. My kids can't go from my house and just run across the field, because they'll be running through a car park. Cars are going to come in and out. It's dangerous. Also,
Cars will be provided. It's not going to just be a 1 in 1 out.
my
for
kids
cars.
are 5 and 7.
How do you know you're football team?
They're going to see, like,
Excuse me?
well, just my
Well,
kids are
sure-
going to see
surely
some
they can come out-
concrete.
surely-
They're going to be on their bikes. They're not necessarily going to stick to the path as much as I would love them to as their parent. They see the quickest route. If at the moment their quickest route is grass, I can sit, and I understand the skate park isn't the best, but I can sit in the skate park. My little boy running up and down there on his scooter. My other boy is playing on that bit of grass in that goal playing football. If you move that, I mean, I've not seen the plans, but I'm going to be in the park and my other child's going to be up the other end. I can't sit there and see 2 of my children at once. That's my concern.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, where else would the sort? Yeah, I've got to.
Can I ask Alan a question? Where do you get the 133,000 I think you quoted earlier for repairs, refurbishments to the hall? How's that broken down?
Mostly internal insulation, because it's a bloody awkward building to work on. The main drains, right? Because yes, the Victorians do know how to build, particularly sewers, because it's still on a cesspit. Yeah. Now that's just an accident waiting to happen, in my view, and that will not be cheap. There were various repairs in and around the building which were put on hold as soon as this proposal was put together. There was no point in spending the money on it.
Surely stuff like Zumba, you don't need lots of insulation. You know, you've got to have classes.
It's not all Zumba. There's an awful lot of classes in the hall currently which are old people and recreation. Yeah, but it's chair exercise, etc. They're not really raising a sweat. Yeah, The gas usage is horrendous through the winter months because people want the hall warm. We've put a really clever heating control system in the last couple of months, and we've asked each class what temperature they want the room at for their classes. And it's only Zumba who have said we don't need the heat.
So this 133,000.
141.
I see you had the car parks being re-tarmacked.
Yes.
Well, the rear car park was done in 2016-17, and it was done over and above board.
Yeah.
That will last for ages.
Can I also make a point, because I believe you were chairman at the time?
I was.
Yeah. Why did you allow them to tarmac over the top of the cesspit?
Can we get back onto the subject, because we need to progress the meeting so we can actually discuss the way forward, to inform everybody in the village about how we make a decision, and the idea is that we will get the information out to you. We'll hold some sort of voting process where everybody can make a decision based on information that we have, that Alan will provide at these meetings, and then that decision will be brought forward to us, and then we will then put that forward to the district council or to Alan for them to progress with. But a leaflet will be delivered to every household as well. So we'll do it social media, leaflet drops, and these meetings. So we want as many people in the village. Ideally, we like 100%. I know that's not probably possible, but we like to get as many as possible to make a decision and to have all the information so that they can make a decision based on information that's been circulated tonight, that will be readily available on the internet, on plans and diagrams that Alan will present at the various meetings, so that you're informed and you can make an educated decision on the process of how we move this forward.
Mark, can I just ask a question? Only for the elderly who can't make the meetings because probably all
well,
in bed.
We've got three
will
different times.
Will there be an afternoon meeting?
There's an afternoon, an evening, and a weekend, and then there will also be a leaflet drop. So yeah.
I know from people around the park, they go, "Well, I can't come at that time."
Unfortunately, we have to make a vote of some description, some process. So there'll be plenty of notice. I hope that people can make that decision if we decide to go to a vote of how to get to the vote. Then cast their decision.
Can I just ask one simple question? If the developer has put this idea forward, which is why we're meeting tonight, why isn't he paying to leaflet the whole village?
To make the vote, if we decide to make a vote, a poll, it is a parish council.
No, I understand that.
The poll bit.
But why doesn't the developer pay for that?
The developer has already put £1,250 into the pot to get us to where we are now.
That's I'm a developer, I know.
Yeah, but that he has done that so far. We've not asked him for any more yet, because until we get an answer as to whether there is a site to work with, it's pointless.
No, I appreciate
that. And the village hall committee now have said no spending until we get an answer from the parish council. Because we're not made of money, and that money is earmarked.
No, I understand that. I'm not asking the village hall to pay for it. I'm asking the developer to pay for that service. It's him that wants your site.
The problem I have with you saying we have to make this decision before we move forward is we haven't really got enough information to move forward. I crunched some numbers. You said at the last meeting that they'd offered you 850,000 for the land.
Yeah.
I understood there was going to be 6 properties, and you said there's 5. So my numbers are going to be even more. So the lower estimate to develop that land is nearly 2 million, 1.9 million. How much are those properties going to be sold for?
I don't know. I'm not a property developer.
Yeah, but this is the viability of this entire project. You're saying, so we've got to sign over a piece of land to you to do this before he can do that, and then this whole business might just fall apart, and then you've got 850,000 where you need a minimum of 1.2 to 1.5 to build the new village hall with the football club in there, you've got no other funding, no grants, nothing set in concrete, but we're supposed to sit here and tell the villagers that we're going to give away green space.
We will be applying for grants from the major sources. Yeah, we have a gentleman called Wayne Smith, MBE, who has worked in this area, and he thinks it is feasible.
Why were grants not? Haven't you looked at grants for actually redeveloping the existing village hall?
Because it doesn't change the fact that it's still going to be extremely expensive to run.
It's going to be cheaper once you've redeveloped it.
Yes, but the interruptions in running the hall whilst all this work is being done is an on-cost that you know we should
Surely
avoid.
there's going to be an interruption between. There's going to be some cut-off point between the village hall being taken over for redevelopment and the new one being finished.
1 week.
Can we get back on to any more comments, because we've still got to discuss how we share this information.
Can we just clarify that you don't currently then have the funding to actually go ahead with this proposal?
Not all the funds, no.
And so not all the funding, and not a contingency amount as well. So there's no actual figures there that we could look at.
No hard figures, no.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, focusing. First of all, I disagree with the losing the green space, but focusing on the gentleman at the football club. Yes, it's in disrepair, and yes, it's a good thing to have football for the kids, as is the green space for the kids. We've already got a big building there, which is a nursery and youth club, and you were saying about all the youth activities. Would it not be possible to focus in that area and have new changing rooms, buildings? You've already got the services in place.
Got absolutely nothing to do with the parish council or the football club. That is an entirely. The question has been asked. That is in trust to the youth of the village. That's not touchable.
So the Eastry People's Club, because I'm on the committee for that along with Joe, was given to the children of Eastry, and we survive. We're one of 2 only surviving youth clubs in the whole of Kent, East Kent, and we are open 2 nights a week usually for the kids, and we have a really good that otherwise might be involved in antisocial behaviour. But as a trustees, we can't say, oh yes, the football club can have part of it, or it can become a new village hall, because it can't.
I'm not saying it to be a village hall, but focusing on the youth activities, the football and all that.
I'm pretty sure football is a youth activity.
It means extending it to
You'd want that given away,
putting the extension in that area.
Yeah.
Because all the services are there.
But again, there's certain issues.
Can we get back to the core of the discussion? Is do we want to sell the village hall and build a new building? That's what well, that's your decision now. We're going to form a process of how we inform everybody, how we ask you to make your decision. That's what we're here tonight. So we've anybody got any more comments? Yes.
I've just got a question. I am filming this, and I've only got 3 faces in the video, which is Joe, Mark and Nick. Is there anybody here that would object to me sharing this video on social media, just to capture the points that are being raised?
As long as you get my hair right.
Sort that out in post, mate.
Can I just say, well done, Alan, for getting the village hall turned round to the point that it's making a profit. You've obviously done a really great job doing that, and I think we all appreciate the fact that you've got it now running and you've got more activities going on. It's becoming more of a hub. So I'm really grateful for that. So thank you. I just wanted to say that as positive.
Can I just check, are there any objections to me sharing it?
No.
No? Okay, thank you.
Any more comments from the floor before we close this part, then we'll go on to the agenda items? No? Brilliant. Okay. Right, we'll reopen at 8:15. Right, item 3 is the proposal to build a new community hub on the gun park. It's really the next step. So that's all we're doing, how we're going to get the information out and then hold a vote of some description to reflect the views of the correct commissioners.
It's getting the leaflets to the houses.
Yeah, so can we start leaflets on the EVN drop?
You remember that, where we're going to do the home up Mill Lane, that, you know, the guy that used to come and do the washing up and drying.
Oh, yes, yeah.
That place, they said they wouldn't mind walking around dropping leaflets for
Yes.
us. Could we not?
They may or may not be, but I think the village hall committee, I mean, you all need to agree the content. We've got
Draft content.
there's still a couple of little bits on here that you might want to tweak. But I think the village hall committee's quote for their printing included delivery to
Yes, it
every
did.
household in the
Oh.
village.
Yeah.
So the village hall committee are prepared, have budgeted to print and hand deliver through every letterbox
In the parish.
in the parish. Because we have used the same printers before when it was the local plan and the parish council paid for a leaflet to go through every letterbox. It was the same company, I believe,
Yes.
Village Organization,
Yeah.
that got to every household in the parish. I don't know if you remember, that was a while ago now. But I think that is what you were all thinking about. It's the content that has held us up, or held you up, you make the decision, not me. The content is what has held the process up until this moment.
And the timescale is approximately a week from signing off the artwork.
Joe, will it go into the outlaying parts of Eastry?
Every house in the parish,
And how many is that?
I'm told somewhere in the region of 1,200.
It's 1915 at last. It's
That's on the
1960.
electoral roll.
But that's probably 2 people in some houses, so I think it'll be less than that.
Some houses can have 5 people.
Yeah, that's unknown. That's the budget
Will
information.
it be a form, or how will people vote? How are they going to physically
This is
vote?
what we're going to decide on how to hold a vote.
Yeah, we haven't got that bit
We
yet.
haven't got that far yet.
No.
We're going to get the information to
No.
you.
If it
So-
is, shall I just
Yeah,
say
go
what
on.
a parish poll is?
Yeah.
If it is a parish poll, Sarah is quite right. A parish poll is very expensive. A parish poll would be run by Dover District Council. They would appoint the presiding officer. They would do the counting. It would be very, very official. It would only be people who are on the electoral roll in the parish who are allowed to vote, and only people who are entitled to vote in local elections. So some people who might be not, I don't know what the right term is, not GB based, may be allowed to vote in a national vote, but they're not allowed to vote in local elections. It would only be people who are allowed to vote in local elections. The polling would be from 4 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night. There are no poll cards, and there is no provision for absent voting, such as postal or proxies. Polling is only in person at the designated polling station.
Can you not pay for poll cards?
Well, at the moment, the quote is a minimum of £2,256.
Because if you don't have poll cards, people aren't going to turn up.
Right. Well, we need to ask that question then, because at the moment, that is not, but again, that is what this meeting is for the parish council to try and work out what to do, how to do it, what needs to go on the leaflet, how to get the leaflet out, how many meetings need to be held to publicise it all, how long that takes, and then when to hold the poll, and you allow more than one question on the poll, but DDC would need to agree the wording as well. They would do the count, not anybody in this room would be counting. It would be them doing the count. But me and the electoral officer, she is edging forward as I am, because I ask her a question and she says, I've got to go and find out about that. Then she gives me some more information and I ask her another question. Oh, I need to go and find out about that. So it is very much, this is quite new. We are feeling the way forward, and the parish councillors are feeling the way forward. They're just trying to get the information out, but they want to get the right information out. And I will just say, we should keep talking, but the leaflet, this has been going on for a long time, because the information that was put forward, the parish councillors felt, wasn't maybe as open and frank as it needed to be. And that's why it's taken so long to get to this stage, because we've been going backwards and forwards.
We have indeed.
These people have been coming up with ideas, back it goes to the village hall, back it comes to the parish council. That's why it's taken so long, because there hasn't been agreement on what needed to go on the leaflet.
Because I think it's important that at the meetings, we have a pros and cons for each, you know, because I think it's important that everybody has a 360 degree view of what the positives and the possible negatives are. You know, like we've had several builders go bust recently. What would happen? Who would own the building in the end? You know, how would we maintain? You know, how would we get the quality? All this sort of thing. These questions need to be asked and answered, and have, you know. And I think when you have these meetings, I think you need to have people from the village hall committee, but also people from the council there as well, to put two sides. Well, not that we're negative, but to put two sides, all sides out, so that people can make an informed decision. Yeah, fully informed decision.
With transparency in mind, we need, because before we get to, are we going to have a vote and is it going through DEC, everybody in this village needs to understand exactly what's going to happen. So we need as much information from you two as possible to put out to the parishioners in every form we can.
Absolutely.
Leaflet drop, website, social media.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, in terms of that kind of transparency and communication, we were prepped for a meeting that's coming up in first week of April.
Second week of April.
Second week of April. We weren't told about this meeting, so we are here to hear and listen. I wasn't prepped to talk, but I want to keep trying to give everybody as much information as I've got to give. But this meeting wasn't necessarily what I was planning for. So
yeah, this isn't exactly what we were planning for.
So I think we're all kind of running as a little bit like what sort of Joe said. There's question asking. This is not. This is something I'm doing.
It's been very useful.
I think we're running at 1,000 miles an hour, but not actually getting anywhere, because we can't make any decisions without information, and we can't, in all good conscience, put a vote out to the village with the amount of information we've got, because there isn't any.
At the moment, I would totally agree with you.
There isn't any.
So you know, we want to see due diligence on the builder. Has he got the funds to actually do this building and complete it to a high quality? And that's evidence-based. We need to make sure there's a project manager available who's going to take it on and make sure everything runs on time. These are all the things that.
I think one of the things that's probably really important to clarify, because certainly I was nervous myself until this was made clear to me. The offer, if accepted, for the hall as it is at the moment, nothing happens to that village hall until the new village hall is finished. There will be a decant, which is where and again, I was like, a week to. You've got to be realistic, but a week, fortnight, how long would that decant happen? That's a question that we need to hone in on. But the important thing is that when you talk about this village has been scarred by development.
Yeah.
I absolutely hear it, feel it, and there would be nobody in this room would be human unless there would be a concern about, oh God, not another hospital job. This new building needs to be finished before anything happens to the existing village, and that is the kind of the generational offer element to this. It's not something that it doesn't normally happen like this. There's your money, do what you want with it. You sort yourselves out, you've got your money. It's not happening. Like the condition of this is that's the offer, it's accepted, and I'm kind of jumping and say if I'm saying when the new village hall for the community is finished, then the developer does his thing, subject to obviously planning. And what someone made a comment earlier about the pre-app. You're absolutely right, whoever that person was. One of the questions I was going to be suggesting is that actually, with the design there or thereabouts now there, that actually a pre-app should probably go in.
Yeah. So
that actually it's running in parallel to all of this. Because the vote, the public vote, we could be voting on something that could be declined at pre-app.
Yeah, exactly, it'd be pointless, and we still save ourselves
But these things aren't designed overnight, and doing it essentially free wasn't necessarily something I had in mind when the question was first asked of me. So,
thanks, Kim. Yes.
I was concerned that there only seems to be one developer in the mix for this. I'm aware that other developers were approached but turned it down. Now they will have turned it down for a reason, because it probably isn't economically viable, and it makes me concerned why
They turned it down. They turned it down.
Who approached us with this idea, and he's the only one in the mix. So I'm a bit sceptical about that, and I'm, with this lady, absolute due diligence. But you wouldn't have an extension at home and have one quote, one person in the mix.
The business dealing that Alan and the committee have entered into with this company has got nothing really to do with us, in the fact that that's a private arrangement. They've offered to build a new community asset for the village in lieu of having the community hall. I don't know what the deals are with that. I don't know what the business arrangements with other companies have been, but all we're deciding is, if it doesn't really matter who's building it, we'll look into the due diligence and the viability of the company, and make sure that that building gets finished and completed. If we go that route, hand it over to the parish council and the football club before they start developing the village. If that's what the parish as a whole decides. So that's a long way down the track. But,
can I just ask a question? I might be the only one who doesn't know the answer to this, but who owns the village hall at the moment?
Charitable. It's run as a charitable trust.
The whole village does.
Not the parish council.
No.
The parish council own the gun park, don't they?
Yes. That is not a charitable trust.
No. Well, it was mortgaged in 1933, I think.
And the mortgage was paid back 3 years later.
A lot of people all clubbed together, and it was bought for £650 by the village, for the village.
And they spent £750 converting it.
Does that mean it's owned by the village in a sense?
Yes. No, well, no. The five. Well, there was more than five, but there were 5 key donators, and a number of others who are listed.
From what I gather, it was Wingham Engineering. It was then sold to the parish council. They didn't have money to develop it into a hall.
No.
So the village raised the money, the Reverend Eastry and about 35 other people, and they got the £650 together, so it was bought by the village for the village. So it should go to a vote, really.
So that's the whole point of this. So what we'll come back to meeting, because we're actually back open again. In other words, can't speak, but we've allowed a little bit of flexibility.
Can I just ask a question?
Last question.
How is it registered with the land registry?
Which?
The land.
Which land?
The land where the hall is. How is it registered at the land registry?
Alan?
As an entity, as a village hall.
Okay.
Yeah, and written into the Eastry Village Hall Charitable Trust's letter of guidance, which is effectively the governing document. There is, I think it's Article 14, which allows the trustees of the charity, of which I'm chairman, to use that property and sell that property on, should circumstances dictate. And as I said earlier, if you put the wrong chairman in to follow me, you will be selling that site, or the parish council will be picking that site up.
Okay.
That's just the way the numbers are.
The charity is the limited company.
No, it's not a limited company.
Is there no limited company?
No, it's a charitable trust.
Yeah, but as a committee, you've got no standing in law. You've got to have, the trustee has got to become the person. If somebody hurt themselves, what happens?
If it's proven that there is negligence involved, then all the trustees are liable. But it's highly unlikely that will be the case, because we have spent a lot of money this year making sure that the fire doors open the right way, that the building has a fire alarm, that the stairs, etc., are all kept clear and
yeah, but
safe.
the trouble is, as a committee member, you're liable.
Yes, and I'm willing to take that chance because the place is now run properly.
Okay.
Do you have to inform the charity commission that you're selling it?
I contacted the charitable commission because it's written into our letter of guidance, the constitution, that they should be advised, which I have done so, and they wrote back to me to say that that is no longer the case because the letter of guidance was written in 1933 and things have moved on considerably since then.
Okay.
To the point where if we were to write the letter of guidance out today, we wouldn't be having this conversation because the need for a public consultation and to get the villagers involved would not be part of that letter of guidance. It's only because it's in the letter of guidance that we're adhering to
I
it.
do need to advise the council of that though, because I have advised the council after reading the constitution and after speaking to you that it would need to go to a village vote.
But only because it's written into our letter of guidance as it stands, as it's filed away at Charity Commission, and we are honouring that.
Right.
What I'm saying is if we were to replace that with a new letter of guidance, which we're perfectly at liberty to do, that clause would not have to be there.
Okay,
we
so
are honouring
I
a
haven't
90-year-old.
misadvised them. I haven't misadvised.
Sorry, my understanding was the vote was whether the village are willing to give up the gun park,
Yes.
not whether they sell village hall.
It's got nothing to do with whether you sell the village hall or not.
You
It's
can
whether
do what
we
you
have
want
to
with
give
the
village
village
hall.
hall.
That's what I've said all
Whether
along.
we are willing
Right?
to give up
Without
the gun
the plot
park.
of land, we're wasting our time.
We need as much information from you two as possible so we can put it out to the villagers in every format we can possibly do so that we can collect what their opinions are before we even consider going to a vote. And at the moment, all I can see is a load of ifs and buts and nothing. I see all you've got is an offer from a developer. That's it. We're quite happy to talk to the football club about redeveloping the football club because we've already spoken to them about it. As far as this goes, unless you've got anything more substantial, I don't know what else we can do, because we can go to our parish meeting in May, we can have the meetings so you could put your information to the village on those 3 occasions, but you haven't got any information to put.
Oh.
This is the point
We
of
have
us
got-
asking for that information so that we can then
And unless you
share
can
it.
give us, so we can correlate a load of information and I can put it on our website, make a page to put on our website, put it on all the social media, we can get a leaflet drop done, we can advertise it around the village in every which way possible, there's no point in us going any further. Because at the moment, you're saying you can't do, won't do anything more until we say yes on the land. Well, we're not going to say less on the land unless you give us more information.
I think Kevin made a very good point to go to pre-app first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the key here before we spend any more money. I mean, how much is pre-app?
I'll get quite a bit
But hundreds as opposed to thousands. Yeah.
But I'd also want to see evidence of the due diligence personally, because as I say, we've got a blot on the landscape with the hospital site, and understanding that you don't lose the village hall till this would be built, but there's still a risk factor.
Just a quick one. Are we overcomplicating this? Because there's 3 basic problems here, isn't it? First of all, the village hall, according to the village hall committee, is a nightmare to run, which I don't dispute. So either the village hall needs to be repaired to become fit for purpose, or it needs to find a new home. Then we've got the football club, which again, we'll all agree that football pavilion is well past its sell-by date and should be pulled down tomorrow. Given half a chance, and we had the money, we'd build a new one. So that needs a new home, hopefully somewhere up on the gun park. And then we've got the future of the gun park, haven't we? Which is really the question that we're asking the village, isn't it? Because we don't know whether all this is going to happen, but there's a possibility it could happen, so we're only asking the question. And really the question is, would the village as a whole be willing to give up some of the gun park for a big virtuous circle if it can be pulled off? And if so, if the answer is yes, then that can all go forward. If the whole village says we're not willing to give up a square inch of the gun park for any process, even how virtuous it is, then it's a complete waste of time and dead in the water. So what really all we need to do is say and ask the village, are you willing to give up any space in our gun park for the big virtuous circle? And if you're not, then that's the end of it. And I think we're going to get lost in detail trying to do too many things and never come up with an answer when that is the only
Which we
fundamental
can do without
question we need
spending
to
now
ask.
£1,000 on a vote.
Well, you could, depends if you need to do that, or do we just put it in the EVN and ask everybody with a good questionnaire and a leaflet from the village hall, whatever,
Well, it is
saying,
quite
this is
simple.
what's is the rough proposal.
Are you
In
willing
principle,
to-
would
yeah.
you be willing to look at this?
In principle, are you willing to give up
Yes,
green space
for-
land?
for the big virtual
yes
circle.
Or no?
Yeah.
So
why
that has
make
to
it
be
too
done in a way that
No, yeah,
it's
but-
fair and open.
Yeah, but
and
you can do that fairness vote bit later on when there's more information to put out there. At the moment, there really isn't any more information other than, are you willing to give up green space?
That's all we need to ask, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't need to go any further, and there's no point going any further if the answer is no. If the answer is yes, then we have to do all that work, don't we, to see at the proposal at the end, we all agree with or don't agree. But until we get to that point, the rest is a waste of money we don't really need to spend,
Yeah.
or anybody else needs to spend, because if not, we'd be wasting other people's money and the village hall's money, which they
But I
can't
think-
afford either.
I think the thing is though, you have to say, you can say to somebody, are you willing to give up green space? You have to give them a reason of why you want to give it up, and they have to understand what the benefits might be.
I agree.
You can't just say, are you willing to lose so much of the gun park?
Yeah, but we can do
But
that
yeah, but
if
it needs to.
if we get information together, there's some information together, and ask it without doing a vote initially.
But you still got to do a vote.
Still got to do a
Yeah,
vote.
so we're going to do a vote afterwards, but not initially.
Why not? Yeah, but how do you know you're getting
Well,
the right
the
people?
initial vote
How
would
do
be
they
the
get
one
the
we
right
go
people when
basically
they vote?
on, isn't it?
Because they'll have to go and do it in a proper way.
The electoral roll, they have the
electoral
Dover
roll.
District Council will run it, so you.
Okay, so
Do
you,
we need to
we have nothing at the moment, basically nothing at the moment, other
Well-
than do you want to lose some of the
We've got
gun
that.
park for redevelopment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we spend nigh on £3,000 going to a vote. What happens if only 150 people turn up?
Well, this is where we have to decide what level of percentage of vote do we accept, because I did a little calculation earlier, once my notes came back, that if we went for a majority vote, so 51-49%, if we had a 60% turnout of people at the village that could vote, and we got 51%, that represents 30% of the people in the village. So that's not really reflective of everybody, is it? So that's what we need to come up with. How do we ensure we get a very high turnout to get an accurate review of most people in the village? We're not going to get everybody.
Is this meeting open or closed
Well, we're in the open bit. We're in the open bit because we're discussing ourselves.
It's fluid.
Mark, can I
Yeah.
this is entirely a gut feeling, but if there's 2,300 and something people in the village, or whatever.
1915, the last,
Okay,
last
thank you.
knockings.
I doubt whether there's more than 200 villagers use the village hall. I mean, who uses the village hall here? Okay.
To be honest, Alan, that's an irrelevant question, because if the villagers don't want it,
Yeah.
they don't have to use it, they just don't want it to be perceived to be gone.
Yeah, you see where I'm going from.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from, yeah. So should we get back onto the, how do we progress this, as Nick suggested? Do we go for just you want to lose a bit of the green space in the gun park for a new development?
Well, these two village halls are going to do some presentations, aren't they?
Yeah, we need to get
So
them.
if they do the presentations, and after that, as many of the villagers can turn up as they want, hopefully many as possible, and then we'll have a proposal. We'll have some plans which we can send out. We can have what is, they'd be saying is the virtuous circle. We can explain what the overall arching principle is, and then at the end you say, are you willing to give up any of that gun park for this? So it doesn't have to be overly complicated, does it? And then if the answer is yes or no, we know where we're going after that, don't we?
But if they do a pre thing, we'll know
Well, I wouldn't bother.
a pre-app, whatever, we'll know then.
In the DDC planner.
But the thing is, if that is predicated, say, if you ask the big question and everybody says we're not willing to give anything up, there's no point going for pre-app. If they do say yes, then we have to explore it, then the village hall can go for pre-app and see what the planners say. And if again they come back no, we know it's going nowhere.
It's one of those chicken and egg, because if we had gone all guns blazing for a pre-app and it gets supported by DDC, I would expect most villagers say, why the hell weren't we consulted?
Yeah.
If we consult and then we find out what the consensus is, we're basing our decision to go forward, or at least it was the plan to go forward to pre-app knowing full well that we'd actually asked everybody what their opinion was. Because I think it's absolutely critical to actually give everybody that opportunity to say, this is what you've got at the moment, this is why we're proposing it, and this is what we're proposing. Do you want to proceed? And on that basis, I think everybody's got the vote. Every villager has got the right to actually vote one way or the other. And I think that's the only democratic way you can really take it forward.
Right, so information that, can we sort of try and
So we,
get some...
are we now going to decision making?
Not closing that, we'll go to that, yeah, we'll close it back out.
Right, so yeah, 24,
Open
you
it
want
back
it?
out, yeah.
So on this
So
leaflet.
on this leaflet, which is a proposed leaflet from the village
You
hall
need to take
committee.
out the skate park bit.
Yeah.
Has everybody had, I mean, I've emailed
Yeah.
this to you,
Yeah.
all, has everybody
We
got one?
discussed that at the last meeting. It should have been
We
taken
did,
out
yeah, and we
the
did the
last
words.
So remove that bit. I think, in the section, how is the current hall, the current village hall used, it says, the parish council hosts a fortnightly free coffee morning for elderly people. It's not just for elderly people, it's for all villagers.
For parishioners.
For parishioners.
We get people with babies, young people coming, school children coming.
And I think then we probably need a section or another section added about what the cons are, about our concerns, loss of green space, loss of the skate park, the effect on Wilmot Place, and Cooksley parking, the developer credentials, funding, all those sort of questions, enough car parking for the use, and how does the parking get policed and managed? That's a question. And security.
Security for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I also want to know who's going to own this building when it's finished. Is it going to be the village hall committee that own it and are responsible for the upkeep and maintenance?
That's another question.
Well, the main users will be the village hall and the football club. How I see it developing from there is that there is a main committee made up of the football club, the village hall, possibly the parish council and any other major hirer involved, snooker club, that basically make the decisions about the building and the car park. And I've already said that the profits that the hall is currently generating and just happening to soak away in improvements can then be used for other projects around the village, because we'll have a new building that doesn't need 141,000 spent
Still
on
going to
it.
need upkeep.
Still going to
If
need
you're
upkeep,
not
yes.
making a lot of profit, then what happens to the new building if you can't make a profit?
It will make a profit because the running costs will be significantly lower. Significantly lower.
Can we come back into the parish council bit? Sorry, Alan.
Yeah.
No problem.
I think the one issue you raised there, I think is quite interesting, but I think because the parish council owns the gun park now, I don't know how it would work for the village hall and the other groups involved, but I would see that we'd probably want to keep ownership of that building, even if we lease it to the separate clubs. But if it's on our asset and then it's right in the middle of the village, we ought to keep ownership of
I
that
think
land.
you'll find you will own it. If the
Yeah.
building is placed on your land,
Yeah, unless you sell it off.
you own it, unless
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
an agreement to start with to say otherwise.
Yeah.
Because this is
Or
what
put
other
it in a
parish
trust
councils
or
have found.
something,
When the
but-
building is on their land, if you own the land
Yeah.
that it sits on, it then
Unless
becomes.
you change that, but that's what I'm saying, so we should retain ownership of the whole thing.
The land would not be given
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the village hall committee. The parish council have taken legal advice on this from Calc, and Calc's advice was it is leased to the land is leased to Peppercorn
but-
rent,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
building sits
Yeah.
on it. But once the building sits on it, in reality, the
But again,
building also
that's-
belongs to the landowner.
That's a long way down the
Yeah,
track, isn't
I
it?
think
But
so.
if there was a situation where the builder, like so many are going bust halfway through construction, who then is responsible then for filling the
Well,
finishing it?
that's what
Yeah.
you
That's
need
why we
your
need to
legal
look at the
agreements.
legal
Yeah.
position. We would, I don't know, but I'm not an expert in legal, but sue the builder or however that, well, I don't know. That's what we need to
That's
ensure
the
our
one,
protection against ourselves.
Yeah, you'd want to know about the contingency and all the finance and all the funding, wouldn't you?
Because the last one was a half-built building.
See, that's the problem I've got, is how do you expect people to make a decision this big when we don't know any of the answers yet?
We know some of
Well,
the
we're not-
answers.
You've got
We
to
know
be
some
able
of
to
the
establish the
answers.
principle.
We're not
You're just
making a
putting that
decision,
feeling
are we?
in
We're
there,
just,
aren't
we're
you?
actually asking a principle about whether you're happy with the idea, we're not making a decision on it,
Yeah,
are
but
we?
you could quite easily come to me and go, oh, we're going to have another football pitch, and we're going to have this, and we're going to have pickleball or whatever else. We go, oh, great idea. And then they go and stick it on there. Then they go bust. Then we go bust because we can't afford to run the village hall. And why didn't anybody do any due diligence in the first place?
We're only asking the question to start. The due diligence will come if we get through the pre-app, which will be the next stage, when it's even if it's possible. And then also the other question is, are there any sites? Does it have to be on the gun park? I mean, is there a better site somewhere? Because it's a great virtuous circle, but does it have to be on that piece of grass which everybody loves? So there is lots of questions to ask, and the first one is the gun park suitable? And then we're in another world of pain going down the line, aren't we? Your kind of questions on due diligence, should it be there? What happens if the developer goes bust? You know, in the market, the way it's going at the moment, interest rates and God knows, does it even stack up anymore? Because build costs will go mad again, won't they? So it may not even work out anyway. Yeah?
It's just putting feelers out
Yeah.
to see what people in the village actually want to do.
So, we amend the leaflets, additions, amendments that we just discussed. We'll add the cons onto the leaflet. We'll put in something about who owns the building, question to the village hall, to make sure we
You want to
that's-
just check those again, is there anything anybody wants to add?
Yeah, so I've got a list of cons that the PC Parish Council are concerned about. It's a loss of green space, the costs of a skate park being relocated, the effect on the residents of Wilmot Place and Cooksley, because they're going to be the immediate neighbours that are going to get affected.
The effect on, so there's also the effect on Swains Way, if the football pitch is a turn round, that the balls, you know, we've discussed this, haven't we, that it could be that then we need to put netting up at the end, because the football pitch, instead of being long wise, will
Well,
be
because
across.
there are properties at the end of Swains Way, so Swains Way, and Swains Way as well. Yeah, so it's Wilmot Place, Cooksley and Swains Way.
Yeah.
And also what's the little one in the corner called, I can't think, but next to Swains Way.
The cops.
The cops, that's it, exactly. Developer credentials, funding, well, you know, is there a shortfall in funding between the costs and what is available? Is there enough car parking for the use of the new village hall, and how is it policed and managed? And the security of the building as a whole. Okay, and who owns the new hall? That's a question you just put that in there. So who owns it? It becomes a parish council asset, although we lease it on rent to whoever is the new tenant.
Is there anything else that you want to be added on to that leaflet?
The effect on the shops if that car park is full up with
Okay.
residents.
Yeah, pop it on there. Thank you. So, amend the leaflet. Then we need to agree on the open meetings that the village hall can present the documents that once this has been ratified, plans so that everyone can visit, have a look at the plans, the proposals. Yeah, are we happy with that one?
Yeah.
Is that enough information? So, are we asking the village hall to make these amendments and then send this back
Yeah.
to you before it goes out?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long to learn that, then we can
We
use
can
that
do
as a
it
base.
online, we don't have to have another meeting.
No,
if
just
you-
have another meeting.
You're having a meeting on the 13th of April, that's your next ordinary parish council meeting. Because that gives them time
So,
to...
and that would form the basis of some of the leaflet, wouldn't it, to be produced to go out? Or is this just going to go electronically? That's the question.
Well, it needs to go all of it.
Yeah.
It needs to go on the website, it needs to go social media, it needs to go out in the leaflet.
And the dates proposed, so if we have a look at some dates.
I don't think the village hall committee needs to decide on the date.
At the moment, you've got February and March. We
Well, they're
should
all-
have
they're
them
all
all by
expired.
now.
Yeah, no, these are all gone. Ignore the dates.
Fine.
This,
It's going to put me in my calendar.
yeah,
Alan,
because
can
they've
you-
all
can you-
gone.
Can you find 3 more dates?
Yes.
You weren't going to say no, were you? Okay, and then the annual meeting in May.
The annual parish meeting, which is the other thing you've got to discuss tonight, is whether you want one of the proposals to be there, and also the date that thought we were having it was the 19th of May, but Jen has come back to me to say the village hall is now booked out on the 19th of May, so it will have to be the 12th of May, but that was a date that was considered by the parish council for we were just trying to make it as late as possible in the month.
So is that 7 till
Whenever.
9?
Last year it was
7:30 on the Tuesday.
I've got last year's agenda here. Some things will have to happen anyway. You'll have to do minutes of the
But
last
we can
year's.
put on the agenda item a village hall presentation for those that make this meeting as well as the other meetings that the village hall committee is going to submit to us to
But you need to
circulate.
decide if you're happy for that to happen on that evening.
Yes.
I think it'd be a good idea to
Yep.
have one.
Yes, I think we'll get a
Are we all in agreement then? Can I just have a show of hands?
Yeah.
Yep.
Joe, we're going to have to buy some more sausage rolls because I think we're going to have a lot of people there.
So it's a unanimous vote that we put on the agenda item.
Yeah, so annual, so
Very few people turn up.
So agreed, to include,
Of the annual parish meeting,
yeah. So it'll be,
a village hall presentation.
village hall presentation of
You're right,
the
Alan.
proposed community hub.
Alan, is that all right with you on the 12th?
I believe so. If Jen says it is, then it is.
Well, I know the village hall is free, but it's whether you're free to come and do the
Are
presentation.
we saying that that's going to be the first of the public presentations?
Yes.
Well, unless Alan has got.
I don't think we can arrange one before because
Okay, well that'll be the
we
first
don't have
one,
a
then
we
can
don't have a
couple
hall
more to
meeting
suit
till-
other people's needs and timings.
Yeah.
Again, if we could do, that'll be an evening on a Tuesday, if we could do an after.
Yeah,
a weekend.
on a weekend. We'll sort
Similar to the
something
same
out.
timings as
Yeah.
before, thank you. Alan.
Over a 2-week period, possibly.
Okay, anything else we need to consider?
Well, what are you going to do about the vote? So you've decided about the leaflet. You've decided that the first information meeting for the public is on the 12th of May.
Yeah.
What about the vote? How do you want that to happen?
Well, we need one, but I don't think we need one yet.
No, we can't have until after the third meeting when we've got a majority of.
Yeah, until all the information's out.
So you don't want to think yet whether you want a parish poll or an EVN or what you want the format?
I think we need to, personally, I think we need to have a proper vote. I mean, our job on the council, I see my role as representing the people of the village. That's what we try to do. So if we're going to have a decision about this, we need to inform the whole village and we need to vote on it. I'm not comfortable in making a decision unless I know the village want it as well.
We can't have the vote till we've had the 3 meetings,
Yes, exactly.
presentations, so that relies on Alan after the 12th of May,
Yes.
2 more meetings after that, and then have a vote after that. But we've got
Yes.
a parish council meeting in May anyway.
The 11th.
The 11th. So hopefully if you can get back to us, Alan, with some proposed dates, we can then propose a date for the vote after the 3 meetings, and people have come to the parish meeting anyway, because it will always be an agenda item. So they can come
I think
in.
your decision tonight just needs
Yeah.
to be, are you thinking of a parish
Yes.
poll,
Yes.
or are you thinking of an Eastry Village News type questionnaire?
Deb's proposing
A poll.
I'd
But
like,
at
I
those
personally, I'd
meetings,
like a proper poll.
at those meetings, you could still get an idea. Of
Yeah, we'll get a
like,
flavour.
I don't
I
see
mean,
why
based
we
on
can't do both.
based
Yeah.
on tonight, roughly speaking, it's slightly out of turn, but like most people spoke against the proposal to put it on the gun park. That's not to say it's a bad idea.
No.
But most people seem to be anti using the gun park.
Yeah.
So I think at every single meeting, you could have a straw poll,
And
a
just
vote
record
on the
it,
floor,
yeah.
and that would then give us information, because spending, and it's not going to be 2,500, it's probably going to be close to 3,000.
Yeah, because if we're going to have to.
You're going to be spending,
podcast
and there's
that.
nothing in the budget, is there?
No.
So what are we not going to spend?
Yeah, we have to help Peter to pay Paul, won't we?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But again, in the end, what we need is, we need to have something that we can then go back and say, we did an efficient vote.
Open,
That we
yeah.
can open vote where everybody had the opportunity to come and say yes or no officially, and we can say this was the percentage of people that said yes. Otherwise, if it's just hands, I can't be doing it.
No, I'm not saying.
No, it won't be
I'm not saying that.
No,
you
just
take
gauge-
that,
gauge
just
opinion on those
gauge.
meetings.
Just gauge the opinion,
Gauge,
yes.
and if it's like, just like, if it's a seriously like no,
Yeah,
why
but
do you want to
that
spend?
depends.
Why do you want to spend £3,000?
Because the people that come to the meetings are a certain group of people. It doesn't reflect the whole village. It's like, you know, there are so many people that volunteer in a village and there are so many people that just whinge, you know, or don't do anything. So, you know, there are lots of people here who have young children, who live in some of the estates, who might say yes to it. So I think that's why
I think we need to have the poll and the vote after. It doesn't matter.
After all the meetings.
Whilst the gauging opinion on the 3 public meetings of the
You can
information
still
is
gauge
useful,
opinion
but it doesn't mean that's
from
yeah.
the meetings, and you could set up a poll on our website and people can.
Yeah, but a lot of people can't get on the
That'll-
website.
that'll-
But they
that'll
can't
be
do it.
invalid
Then
because
they can
we
go
won't
to
be
the.
sure.
Then they can go to the meetings. There's more than one way to gauge public opinion, rather than just having to do it at a meeting. You can do it on social media. We're not saying no to a vote. I'm all for a vote for the big decision, but that's not stopping you gauging public opinion beforehand.
But again,
We can
you know,
use, we can use all those avenues of gauging opinion.
If you look at all the wording that's just been on the Eastry community page, a lot of the football guys are saying, no, come on, you need to do this, and all the other people are saying, no, we don't want it, and it's very difficult to measure. As a next scientist, you need to measure things.
Which is why you do a poll.
And which is why you do a poll.
Yeah, we agreed we'll have a poll, but after the 3.
After 3
choose a
meetings.
date. Once we get dates from the
But-
next parish meeting, we can then Alan can provide us the dates. We'll simply put a poll date after that. By then, hopefully, if everybody in the village has had enough information, they can make a reasoned decision on their own opinions.
Can I just check for my minutes what I am recording? At the moment, I think the decision, you've had a lot of information from people which will only be summarised because the public bit, you just summarised concerns were raised about blah, 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 blah. And then decisions you've made decisions that a leaflet, you would like a leaflet to go out, and you've made your decisions about the amendments, which I will officially send to the Village Hall Committee, and the Village Hall Committee are paying to send the leaflet out to every household in the village.
Yes.
We all understand that's
Yes.
just agreed. Yeah, and I think you've agreed that you would like 3 meetings to be held. One will be held
first
at
one,
the annual
parish
parish meeting, which is on the 12th of May.
2 more to be
And there will be
approved.
one at a weekend and one in an afternoon, I think was the Village Hall proposal. So you've all agreed that, so I'll feed that back to the Village Hall. And I think you've agreed that in principle, a parish poll should be held.
Yes.
Is that a fair representation of what you just said?
All hands for that, yes and no.
Yeah, how are we going to pay for it?
Yeah, so
We'll
resolve
pay for it. We've got the money to pay.
the parish poll.
It's not in the budget. It's not in the budget, Debbie. So how?
Well, they want it. They pay for it.
No,
I think the parish
have to
council
pay
have
for
to
it
pay
legally.
for it.
We have to
Yeah.
pay for it
It
legally.
doesn't mean they can't give us a.
Well, something else might not have to
Where's it come
happen.
from? What do you say? Where does it come from?
Yeah, where's it
Something,
come from?
something else
Out of
might.
your contingency, probably.
Yeah, out the contingency fund.
Right, so you haven't resolved then that we're gonna have a parish poll, because you haven't actually put your hands up and all voted on it, have you?
Well, what did
What's
we just
that?
do then?
Pardon?
What did we just put our hands up for then?
Oh, did you?
That was the
3 meetings.
the 3 meetings.
Okay, so are we going to have a poll?
So, yes.
Yes.
Poll for a print in principle, yeah.
Yes.
2 poll in principle?
Yeah.
Four.
Yes.
In principle. 5.
I'm not happy with the poll.
Okay.
Until we know.
1 against. Debbie, you got your hand up?
I've got my hand up.
Yeah,
1,
okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not 2 against. I will.
So at the moment, you've got 7 for a
2
parish
against.
poll.
Yeah, 2 against.
Parish poll in principle.
In principle.
In principle, in principle.
Yes.
Is that accurate recording?
That's it, 7, 4 and 2 against. Okay, perfect. That's as far as we need to go. Is it? I think we've exhausted it. Is everybody happy with where we've got to so far?
Is everybody happy?
We know a song about that, don't we?
Okay. Meeting 9 o'clock. Nice.
Are we done?
Yes.
Joe.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.